Hello and welcome to Senior Connections. This is our monthly show brought to you by Senior Resources, which is your area agency on aging for Muskegon, Oceana, and Ottawa counties. And every month we get together and we talk about issues that relate to seniors, their family, and friends. It can be anything from Medicare to prescription benefits to what we're going to talk about this month, which is utilities, which we all really need to have, and weather and disaster preparation and all kinds of things. And as you know, it is winter in Michigan, depending on the day. Today it's not a bad winter, but it is winter in Michigan. Time to talk about energy use, staying warm and safe, and who better to give us some tips on that than our friends in the energy business. I have with me Rich Houtteman from Consumers Energy and Jonathon Wilson from DTE. Welcome, guys. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So, you know, we've just finished up the holidays. We had kind of a rough early start to the winter in November where we got the cold and the snow, and boy, you thought that it was going to be a long, cold, wet, white winter. And then December came and not much happened. We had not much of a white Christmas, and here we are midway through January. Still not too bad, but still, we know this is Michigan. This won't last. So let's talk about ways that we can save. But first of all, let's learn a little bit about both of you. Rich, we'll start with you. Tell us about you and how long you've been with Consumers.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks, Lisa, for having us here today. Jonathan and I are at a lot of events together, just, sharing what we do, and this is another great opportunity to get the word out about the different types of things that we do on each of our utilities. I'm the Community Affairs Manager for the Lakeshore, which is basically Ottawa, Muskegon, and Newaygo, and I've been with the company about 4.5 years now, so I'm getting on 5, but it's been a lot of fun. I come from the municipal sector and started this back then a couple of years ago, and it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Have you been in this area before that? Or
I've pretty much I lived in the White Lake area most of my life.
Excellent. So you know this community well. Yeah. Well, been wonderful. Jonathan, I know you've been around for a while because I've known you in your previous life, but tell us.
So I'm a regional manager with DTE Energy. I cover a few more counties.
Just a few.
Than Rich over here, but I handle all of our corporate and government affairs. So I work with our nonprofit partners and local government officials on initiatives in the community.
And you came from business development
also,
a little bit, in the government world as well.
I was the economic development manager for the city and county of Muskegon for the last 5 years or so, and my background is marketing and public relations. So I came from the east side of the state to Muskegon.
To the best side of the state.
The best.
Well, we're a little biased, but okay. So as we've said, we're in the middle of winter, and while it hasn't been too bad, we know that can change literally in an instant. So let's talk about bills, because when you get something like an early winter storm kind of thing that happens in November where we got some cold, we got a lot of snow, higher energy bills frequently come with that. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I know that the bills are not either of your areas of expertise. I'm going to say that they're very much involved in community, and I see you at lots of community things, but still, you're kind of like me as when we're in communications, you have to know a little bit about everything, but not much about anything. We're not an expert at anything. So excuse us if we're not experts on any of this. But there is some help for people with heating bills, right, Jonathan?
Definitely. So first of all, DTE gas is unique in the sense that we buy our gas during the summer months when it's warmer, so we can get it for cheaper, and we store it in facility tanks around the state. And then we distribute it during the winter months, obviously when our customers need it. Because of the way we purchase our gas, we're able to provide more affordable rates. But we're also working on reliability with our infrastructure as well. So we're constantly renewing our gas mains and pipelines to make them more reliable and efficient, so that there's less leaks, so that we can also keep the bills down. We have a customer outreach program. Customer outreach department out in Detroit, who, if anyone is having issues with the bills, we can help you by setting you up with payment plans, and we have a low-income assistance program that can help out with bill payments as well.
Okay, and so they can, I'm sure, see that information on their bill. They can always call 211, I'm sure, and
yes,
you Google it if you want.
Yeah, right.
If any of
call Jonathan at home.
No, if any of our customers want to reach out to customer outreach, they can dial 1-800-477-4747.
4747 until you run out of 4s and 7s.
Yeah, and our operators will be happy to help you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what with most of our viewers, many of our viewers being either older adults or people who care for them, are there specific things that prevent shutoffs for people that are older adults?
Yes, so we're constantly developing programs to protect our most vulnerable citizens, so low-income senior citizens. We have a shutoff protection program where if you are behind on your payment, especially during these winter months, you call our customer outreach team, and they will put you on a payment plan that will put you on a fixed monthly payment until you catch up on those
Spreads it out
bills.
over-
Spreads it out.
So that you don't just have these 3 months of really high bills and then
Right.
summer
Correct.
comes and then we're talking air conditioning, something different. But
Yeah.
so they can either plan ahead and probably be on a budget plan, or they get behind, they can still call. They can do
Yeah, we always encourage people, call us before you get too far behind. You don't want to be on our shut-off list. We want to keep your heat on, especially during these cold months.
Right, absolutely. What about, are there other community organizations that help? We certainly talk every month. The last thing I usually say is call 211. If you can't remember
Yeah.
anything else, call
Right.
211. We always do that.
Yeah.
But are there other partners that you
Yep.
have?
So we partner really closely with the Heat and Warmth Fund. So customers can call them. You can also call True North or the United Way to Lakeshore, and they'll help connect you to programs and resources.
Wonderful. So Rich, let's talk the same about Consumers Energy and the programs that you have available. Kind of the same things. What help do you have with bills and?
Yeah, so for our senior population, we really like to focus, we work with the CARE program. And I think DTE may be participating in that too, but it's Department of Health and Human Services that administrates it. So if you're at 150% of the federal poverty guideline, you can enroll in this program and hopefully get accepted. And basically, it's similar to a budget plan where you can smooth out those peaks throughout the year over the whole year. And then there's also an opportunity, there's a component of that bill that'll help you catch up what was past due because typically most people that try to get in the program have an issue and have back bills they just are struggling to get out from underneath of. And then a lot of our programs it's a similar phone number, but it's 1-800-477-5050. That's our number. So they're really pretty easy to remember. They're kind of close together, so it's easy to remember. But so we do have shut-off protection as well for our 65 and year older population. It's kind of a similar situation, but if you're at 200% of the federal guideline, it's for folks that are really tough to make ends meet. We have some special programs for them, and also don't want to forget about the home heating credit. That's another thing to keep in mind too, is to try to keep your overall bills down over the year.
Okay, great. And one of the things that we talk about with all of these things, we talk about 211 so much that a lot of times I will tell people, even if they can't help, sometimes if it's a really hard winter, the funding that True North has run out in previous years. It seems like it's increased over the last couple of years. I haven't heard about that. But you can call 211 and maybe they can help you figure out another way that you can save money that allows more money to go toward there. So always remember 211. So we've talked a little bit about bills. Now let's talk about other preventive ways that we can keep those bills low, or that we can do that going forward. So Rich, I know when I put out a newsletter recently, you shared with me a document that had a bunch of tips on it. So let's go over some of those.
Yeah, and and you have to realize a lot of what we put out is similar to what DTE will put out because we do gas too, we just don't do it here. So I'm going to try to let Jonathan cover a lot of the areas where gas would be.
Just chime in together.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll just sit back and listen.
Yeah. So one of the things that we try to encourage is, we have, close the damper to your fireplace when you don't use it. About 15% of the air in your house can escape through your chimney if you have an open damper just doing nothing. So that's an easy one to do if you try to save that warm air in your home. Don't block heat registers. Keep your shades open to the sunlit portion of your home. Close the drapes on the north-facing area or areas that aren't receiving the sun. That's some of that radiant heat. Heat can get in and help you offset, the need to heat. We have something, and I'm sure DT does too. It's called the Energy Dashboard. So you can get. If you go through our respective websites, ours is consumersenergy.com, you can have an account where you can look at your usage over the whole year. And sometimes you'll notice that you'll get one of these notices, like how am I, they'll show, our companies will tell you how you've done over the last 12 months. And are you trending higher than you were, or are you lower, are you good? You can get, it'll give you a heads up as how you're trending for your next bill. And so you can be a little more mindful. I think the technology of smart meters, et cetera, has really helped utilities communicate with their customers more than ever by using technology. Where before we'd just read the dial once a month, and that was just the best we could do. But now with smart meters, we have a lot better connectivity.
I remember when we lived in Southern California years and years ago, there were things that they'd say about, because the drought situation and different things out there, water usage, about doing your laundry, for example, in an off time. Don't do it during the day when the usage. Is that a thing around here, or is that more where it was a water usage?
From the electric side, and I don't want Jonathan to forget about the tips that those folks use to encourage. But this summer, we're going to have something called summer peak time usage. So from June to about September, you will pay a little more to use electricity between the hours of 2 and 7. So when the summer comes around, that's when we will definitely have incentives to not use, if nobody does anything any different, they don't change their lifestyle patterns, they'll pay about 4% more in a given month. But
so it's more the hot part of the day when we're.
But that's just an example. You kind of referred to that being out in California.
Right. That's probably
on the electric side, we had similar programs. On the gas side, we do what we do on the corporate side to try to just keep bills as low as possible. And over the last 10 years, our gas bills have gone down for our customers roughly 30%. So we've been doing a good job with that.
Well, and I know they promote it because I hear those ads on the radio and things about that. Well, what other tips do you have?
Well, we have a program called the Home Energy Consultation Program, where for free, we'll come to your house, inspect your home, and give you recommendations for how you can save energy, conserve energy, and lower your energy bills. And in some cases, we'll also install like a smart thermostat and other appliances for you free of charge.
Okay. And about roughly how much lead time do you know? Does that take a while to get that scheduled?
It really varies depending on when our contractors and partners are available. I've seen some people schedule appointments within a week of me notifying them about the program, and I've seen other people where it's taken a month.
And this is for everybody, not just older adults. Anybody who's a customer can come in and find that out. So things like do they have like a little heat sensor, like things that'll sense a draft coming in?
Yep, they do. They sense drafts, and
do this myself.
Yes, you do. If you call 1-800-477-4747.
Yeah.
447.
Yeah.
Well, my family's benefited from a Nest thermostat from DTE, and we help other customers too through consumershelpingneighbors.com. That's what we do too. We have a similar program where you can get pipe wrapping to keep your hot water and your pipes warm. We have very similar things that are very helpful for our customers to reduce usage.
Well, that's why I wanted to have both of you on here, because you're doing, even though one is more, in this area, one's gas and one's electric, but you both have some fabulous programs. And then there are things that aren't specific to yours, but probably things like furnaces.
Yes.
You should probably check a furnace once in a while.
Yeah,
or a filter.
you definitely want to make your furnace it's inspected regularly. Make sure all your filters are replaced regularly, just to make sure things are operating the most efficient way possible.
And are there any other, so no, we're thinking about winter, but summer will be here again. We hope. And so we don't want to pay those higher things. So what other weather, are there other tips that you can think of that are things that are longer serving? Because the bill is still, maybe it's not the gas in the summer, but the electric is going to go up if we're using fans.
Well, for our world, it's, we have something called, I think you're going to hear a lot of encouragement, incentivizing to reduce usage. Like we have a new program, fairly new, that's called AC peak cycling. So we'll give our customers a $25 credit to enroll in this program to put an arrestor on their AC unit. So basically, it pretty much keeps your home from going under 70 degrees, which, that's, I keep my home at 74 in the summertime. So if I hit the microphone, sorry about that. I just did that. So, there are different programs, and not every program works for everybody. So hopefully there's enough of an offering that you can find something that makes sense for you.
Great. Are there any other tips that either one of you can think of that help save people money that we haven't already covered?
Well, things like LED lights are a big one. You want to make sure your appliances and things are the most efficient appliances possible.
That's right. Your water heater, in this area, some people have gas, some people have electric. It's just kind of a mixed bag of what people choose to use for whatever reason. And that's water heating is about 15% of your total bill. So just being mindful of hot water consumption. Do you take baths over showers? It's much more economical to take a shower over a bath. So those are things we don't always think about, but that's another little thing to consider.
Okay. So again, I'm just going to throw in one other thing. They've got these great programs, and these easy to remember phone numbers, but you might not remember that. Call 211 because they know all of those things. You guys keep them up to date. They know where the funding goes for the programs. They know these different things. They know how to get a hold of your people like that. So obviously we want to talk about that. Let's talk about something that's not as fun to talk about, power outages. And so I'm going to direct that more to you.
I can take off, right?
Gas leaks in the and fortunately, they don't happen often. And I want to first say, I'm always so grateful for the linesmen and the people who are out there. They're out in miserable weather, usually, dealing with this. Sometimes a power outage, because they can be about the weather. It can be a car accident. Christmas morning, my son, when my kids came to wake me up at 8:30 in the morning, said, guess what? We've been without power since 3:30. My son, who's 21, knows because a cat woke him up howling and realized that then the power went out, and that was a car accident, some freak thing. It wasn't anything else. And then there's squirrels, because squirrels. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. We hear all the time, radio ads, TV ads, what to do, what not to do, but we should just go over safety again.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that. So typically, whether it's a car pole or we're having wind and branches are causing down power lines, we really ask our folks to stay about 25 feet away from a down power line. And if you see a down power line, especially if it's sparking, just stay away from it, and then please call 911. Responders will come quite quickly. And we'll do our best to get there in a safe way and make that repair.
And the great thing is that you can get notifications for when the power's out. I mean, my husband has those signed up, so he'll call in if he's discovered a power outage. Frequently, he's not the first one. Once in a while, he is. But then he gets a text notification or something that says when it's back up or an estimate of when it's going to be. Technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Through our website, you can sign up for those. You can also check our outage map. To see, what's out in your area.
It's great if you have power to be able to check it.
Right. Well, that's true. It's
but
true.
That's where those text
we're getting a little more
nice.
mobile friendly, which I'm glad about that.
Do a lot of it on
That's important. So, thank you.
So let's talk though. Occasionally there are gas leaks. So what I understand from listening to your many radio ads, and always you guys must have some really great setups with TV and radio, because when the weather's bad is when I hear those. They're always really just in a good rotation. But gas doesn't naturally have a smell, so you add something smelly to it that makes it smell like sulfur.
We add a chemical to our gas that makes it smell like sulfur. So if you smell that, you want to call the authorities, call 911 or call our offices, and we'll make sure that we come out and fix that, fix the leak.
All right. So you're lucky that you don't have quite as much of that problem. It's probably not as weather dependent on that. I mean, because it's you're not dealing with lines that are above ground.
The majority of our calls are from an excavator or someone that's digging in the ground and come across one of our lines. Didn't call mistake, or in some cases the records aren't as accurate as they should be.
That's true. So let's talk a little bit. We've still got roughly 10 minutes, and this is my favorite part of the conversation, really. Let's talk about your organizations and their activities in the community, because that's really what both of you are heavily involved with. So we'll get in our little plug. We're all three in the Muskegon Rotary, so we did our obligatory Rotary photo. But that's a big part of your role, right, is to get out in the community. Your organizations are very involved. So I'm going to first of all give a shout out. I have to, because DTE every year for the 4.5 years I've been there, for years before, has been very generous with the foundation, gives a grant to Senior Resources. We get a small grant that comes through you for personal care bags for our older adults who have some financial struggles and need some personal hygiene issues. And then you do the larger grant for the meals, the holiday meals program that we do through Age Well. So thanks for that.
Oh, no problem, and thank you for the partnership. We really appreciate it. You know, DTE has two aspirations, right? We want to be the best operated energy company in the country, and the second one is we want to be a force for growth in the communities where we live and we serve. So partnerships with senior resources like we have with you are amazing. Our foundation probably gives away roughly $18 million a year to various nonprofit organizations and programs around the state. We sponsor over 300 festivals and events for families and to encourage economic growth in communities. And we're just extremely excited about it. It's probably my favorite part of the job is to work with the foundation and our various community partners.
So what kind of things do you get to do? So I know, you know, in this area, I see you come, you know, you work with us at Senior Resources. I know the Muskegon Museum of Art, United Way, some other great, you were telling me about Read Muskegon, and some of those maybe are personal things, but tell me, you know, how does DTE set those priorities for what they want to do?
So we have 6 or 7 different giving areas that we focus on. Basic human needs, which is the senior resources, which is, you know, why we support you guys. Arts and culture, environment, economic progress and community transition, and education and training, education and employment, sorry. The education and employment is really a big deal for us right now, especially with the labor shortage and the skills gap that we're all facing in the state. So we work with K-12 programs and early college and college programs to expose students to potential careers in energy. We work with United Way of the Lakeshore on their summer youth employment program to help out the students and give them opportunities to expand their potential.
Great. So that's probably been a really enjoyable part of your job.
Yes,
I would imagine that's a big reason why you wanted to get into that. It allows you to do the kind of work that I know you both enjoy personally. You get to be involved in the community, and hey, you get paid for doing it. It's really
it's amazing.
Pretty awesome part of the job.
We're our foundation. We give financially, but we also give through our time. We're all the employees, we have 10,000 employees with DTE. We are encouraged to support and volunteer with activities and events in our community. Over half of our employees volunteer in one way, shape, or form annually.
Well, when we do that holiday meal, we've got dozens of DTE people back in the kitchen. They're delivering meals, they're serving up the meals, they're in the cafe serving up the meals, they're doing all kinds of things, and they're not all glamorous jobs.
No.
So Rich, tell us a little bit about the same kind of thing, same question for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like between our two foundations, we're pumping in over $30 million back into Michigan, which we're really proud of. Jonathon and I are local guys, so whatever we can bring back to this area just makes us really proud and pleased. I think, you know, one of the things that part of United Way, statewide, we helped found the 211, not 211, we're a big contributor to 211, but we helped fund the ALICE study, and ALICE really drives a lot of missions of what United Way does, a lot of what how they attack their problems in the area that kind of revolve around, ALICE data.
Explain what ALICE is.
Yes, good job.
Limited income constrained employment is my former employer, so I know that word really
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. That's good. It's a good distinction.
Limited income constrained employment. It's what we used to refer to as working poor, but this is a more dignified, gives a name and a face kind of to people, people who are above the poverty level, working but still struggling. And that's seniors too. That's not, I mean, not all seniors. I mean, when you think older adults at 60 and over, there are a lot of people who are not retired yet, and a lot of people who can't retire yet because they're struggling.
Right. So our foundation, we're all about people, planet, and prosperity. So the people side is, funding. We made a $500,000. Well, the money isn't really that significant, but $500,000 contribution to the CARE program that folks can have access to for utility assistance offsets. We run a statewide United Way campaign. We raised $1 million from employees for this year's United Way campaign, and plus we somewhat get close to that with a corporate contribution as well. So we're really, Jonathon and I are really engaged with United Way, and we're really proud to do that. And I'm on the board, and I'm really excited to help get that. What I really like about United Way is it's almost like a mutual fund of all the different great agencies that are doing great things in the Muskegon area to help folks. And so being a part of that, you're kind of helping all these folks when you're really strongly supporting United Way. So we're really pleased about that.
So we've shared a lot of the highlights of that, and we've got probably about 3 or 4 minutes. Any last tips or stories or anything that either one of you want to share, the things that we've missed or just that we should go over again?
I'll just say, DTE and DTE Gas specifically, we remain committed to providing reliable and affordable energy to all of our customers throughout Muskegon County and the rest of the region. So we want to keep you warm this winter. So just remember, if you have any questions or issues, you can dial 1-800-477-4747. We'll definitely help you out.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. So we're going to invest $200 million this year in a variety of things of replacing infrastructure, tree trimming. If you see a blue dot, if we come through your neighborhood, our crews do, we usually work through Trees Inc. If you see a blue dot on your tree, that means it's going to be trimmed. If you see a blue X, it means that tree is slated for removal. So we do a lot of work in the winter, so you'll see our crews out doing that. And again, 1-800-477-5050 if there are issues, if you need help, if you have questions on your account. I also want to be very mindful of phone scams. We will not ever, and I don't think DTE will either, I know you won't. Any utility would not call demanding payment threatening a shut-off that day. So if a call is received that day, please, you want to verify your account status with our respective utilities or your city if it's a water shut-off. Call your municipality, but yeah, it's most likely a scam if you receive that call.
Yeah.
Great reminder of that. I'm really glad you mentioned that. We only have probably a minute and a half, but green energy, solar, what kind of things, anything exciting happening on that area on either one of your?
Well, DTE, not so much in the Muskegon area, but we're the largest investor of renewable energy in the state, and we're proud of that. I don't know how close we are to consumers, but I'm sure we're both large investors. So we have some new wind projects that we're going to be getting online over the next year, so that we're pretty excited
So
about.
both of your companies are involved in that. We can look for some.
Yeah, we're going to move beyond coal. I think both of our companies are actually by 2040. We're going to try to bring on 6,000, I know this doesn't mean a lot, but 6,000 megawatts of solar. But when Jonathon was with the county, we leased 1,900 acres out there, and we're going to put enough solar out there to probably power 250 Meijer stores.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a very large project for us. We're working on it. We're getting there. We're not quite ready to break ground yet, but we're heading that direction.
Well, maybe when that gets going, we'll have to have both of you back to talk about some of those, because that's just, I guess it's not senior focus, but it's an interesting thing.
Definitely.
To me. Well, the time has gone by really quickly, as I knew it would. So in my last few seconds, I'm just going to thank you both for coming and sharing this information. Remember, call their companies if you've got any issues with paying your bill. Call if you want help with trying to get ahead of it, with reducing heat loss, or there's all kinds of resources for saving electricity on there to keep your bills down so that they are affordable. But we really want to make sure you stay warm and safe in your homes. So if you can't remember the numbers that they've read, call 211. 211. You can do that. If you're internet savvy, you can find all the information you need there. Rich and Jonathon, thank you so much for joining us in Senior Connections this month, and I hope we'll visit again soon. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we could have an hour-long show about renewable